Friends, good evening and welcome to Trinity Cathedral for this service of choral evensong for the Feast of All Souls. A warm welcome to those of you joining us here in the pews, those of you joining us online. It's good to be part of a great cloud of witnesses, and that is really what we are here to celebrate tonight. That great cloud of witnesses is a theological concept before it is a technological concept, although these days the internet makes it possible to be a part of a great cloud of technological witnesses, which is very cool, and is actually kind of an amazing way, maybe, I don't know, I'm trying this out for the first time, to think about what it is we're here to think about, which is that the bonds that connect us one to another are different than just touch and sight and sound and smell alone. There are all kinds of ways in which we remain connected to those whom we love. We experienced that during the pandemic when we started doing church in an empty cathedral, and we're aware that there were some Sundays hundreds of you participating with us in real time, virtually. We would see you passing virtual notes to each other in the Facebook chat, or it's like we could feel connected to you. It was a funny kind of connection, but we could feel that connection. And then when we gathered together in this space, I remember saying to a friend of mine, I can do without Eucharist, I can do without a lot of things. What church is for me, and this is just speaking personally, what church is for me is feeling other bodies in a room breathing along with me and raising our voice in song and in harmony. That's my best image of what the life beyond is like. This tradition gives us a lot of different pictures, images, metaphors, ideas for what heaven, the life eternal, the beatific vision, what that might be. So we have a lot of room, I think, to wonder and to explore and to question and to play. For me, what I hope heaven is like sitting in this room on a Sunday night when the air is thick with incense, and the silence around us is so deep that you feel like you could cut it with a knife, to gather with other bodies in silence and in harmony, and to experience what that feels like in my body. To hear that organ when those deep low notes happen that shake the whole floor. When I sometimes say, I would like to die that way. I would like to disappear into that ocean of sound, to become pure sound. And I think evensong in the Anglican tradition, which is what we're doing tonight, gives us another image, if you like, of what divinity, what true peace might mean. I don't know if that's what lies beyond the grave. I hope that it's as good as this choir or better. I think it probably is. But evensong is a service that actually doesn't ask that much of you. You don't get a lot of lines in this service. You get to sing a hymn. You get to listen to some readings. You don't get to sing the responses. I know some of you are choral people and you're very jealous that the choir gets to sing the Lord's Prayer and all this stuff, and you have to sit out here. Some of you know this literature. This is evening prayer in the Anglican tradition, right? It's the ways that the monks started praying in the very early 300s, 400s, 500s. It got passed down through the generations. English cathedrals at the time of the Reformation grabbed it and made morning and evening prayer out of what had been a Benedictine sevenfold daily office. So this is how we have preserved, we might say, the tradition of daily prayer, what it means to gather, often silently, often singly, but sometimes in community, and in monastic communities that was usually a community gathering where folks would gather 4 or 5, sometimes 7 times a day, in Anglican cathedral traditions just twice a day, to stand with our bodies next to each other and to experience the peculiar kind of intimacy that comes from syncing up our breaths and seeking to find unison and harmony and resonance and overtones in what we're able to do with our bodies. That is our best image, or maybe our best practice for dying and living beyond, I think. To sit in silence, to listen really deeply, to let the music happen to us, not as an intellectual exercise, but to let it land in our bodies, to let the music teach us something that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do. That's what evensong is for, week in and week out. We practice it every month here at Trinity Cathedral. There are many places in the Anglican Communion where it happens every day, once a month here. But what we're seeking to do in this service is provide you a little space of respite and stillness, because that's our best sense of how to prepare you for what is to come. We don't know what's going to come in our world right now. The anxiety around us is palpable. So we do what Anglicans have been doing for 500 years. We gather in a sacred space in walls that have been hallowed by over 100 years of prayer. Here in this space, there have been 34 funerals that have happened in here this year. We have known a lot of death this year, and we are people tonight who have experienced great loss. We're here because we have learned how to love each other very deeply indeed. And we know, even as we know that there are plenty of people who are not here in the room with us but are a part of this gathering, some of them are online. Some of them are online in a way that I don't understand and get, but I feel them because I remember where they used to sit, and I remember what it was like to gather their loved ones and remember them, and every so often I catch a little echo of their song. Our loved ones are not lost to us, not really. They're just part of a greater choir. And if we are silent and still and pay very close attention, I believe we can still hear them singing.